All right, I'm told I can start whenever I want, and I want. So as people wander in, let me start with this. I don't have a presentation. In fact, I don't have a script. I decided I'm gonna wing it. I prepared a little bit to make sure I know what I'm talking about, but for the most part, this is an interactive session. So in all the years of working on Kubernetes, I have struggled always with how do we debug the thing? How do we know what's going on? People come in with questions, I come in with questions. How does this work? And I trawl through code, it's often the API machinery code, sorry to say, that is like an interface that's parameterized with an interface that is embedded inside of another interface that is inside 3 different implementations, and I don't know what's going on. And so I'd always be like, well, shoot, I'll just throw a panic in here and see what the backtrace was and then see what happened. How many people have done this? Yeah, look at that. And that's the only way you can figure this out, because Go and with this cool implicit interfaces, like I can't grep for who implements this interface, and half the time Vim-Go doesn't work anyway. So, and then like about a year and a half ago, I was like, I really miss debuggers. I miss GDB. I loved using GDB with C programs. And I finger memory, I still remember how to do GDB. So I was like, let's go look at this Go debugger. I had tried it a few years ago. Anybody tried the Go debugger like a long time back and found it to be terrible? Okay, I tried it probably 6 years ago and it was pretty bad. And I could get assembly dumps, but that was about it. And then I tried it again last year and I was like, oh, it actually works really well. And in fact, the project, it's called Delve. I'll show you all in a second, Delve, DLV. The project itself is written in Go, and it's actually really easy to hack on. So I started hacking on Delve too and adding features that I wanted to use my debugger, and so it made it even easier for me to use. And then I realized in talking to people, many people are still stuck in this, I'll just throw a printf or I'll panic or whatever. And I was like, well, just load it in the debugger. It's really easy to do. And people say, I admit that I don't know how to do that. So I said, I'm gonna just show. I'm not a wizard with the debugger. I'm not gonna be able to do some of the crazy stuff that I know it's probably possible. But I can show you sort of the pedestrian, everyday debugging stuff, how to answer some challenging questions sometimes. But I'm gonna ask you guys, what should we debug? What questions do we want to answer about this thing? So I've got here, I've got a Kubernetes tree checked out, and I've got a separate tree of a project I work on called GitSync, which is a little simpler than Kubernetes to walk through, that we can play with and just debug. And like, let's figure out what questions we want to answer, right? So I'm gonna start over in GitSync land because it's a little bit easier. I'm gonna say delve run, sorry. I always forget that. Delve debug. Okay, I'm now in my debugger. What do I do? I'm going to continue. It's already so at this point it has launched my program. Okay, I'm going to continue to main.main. Cool. Now I'm at function main, and it's going to give me a source listing. Now, what's the most interesting thing to do? I'm just going to start single stepping. Okay, am I PID 1? No, I'm not. Okay, cool, let's define a whole bunch of flags. So let's just walk through that. La, 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 la. But you ever wonder what is actually happening inside these flags? Let's just like single step into this. Oh, okay, well there's a function called duration, and it calls another function. Oh, I'm gonna continue, hit enter again, which repeats the last command. So I'm single step into this, single step into that. I get a duration P, okay. And I go to varp. Boy, this is getting deep. You know what? I'm skip it. I'm done. Step out. I'm done. SO. Step out. I'm done with this function. Go back to where I came from. Let's get past the flags. I know you're thinking this is a lot of flags. All right, cool. I've gotten through the flags. Now I'm in my main function, so like, what question should we answer? I'm gonna skip over the flag parsing. Are we asking for the version output? No, we're not. Am I asking for help? No, we're not. Am I asking for the man page? No, I'm not. Is my root variable set? Oh no, it's not. Shoot. Well, that's that. Okay, I'm going to restart the program, and I'm going to say cool. Continue to main. You know what? I'm going to go easier. Break at main. And then I'll just continue. All right, now I stopped. Let's go to, I'm going to scroll back in my buffer. Where was that line? 331. Continue to line 331. All right, I skipped all the flag stuff. Now I'm here. Okay, my root is set. Cool, it's going to canonicalize. Check some flags. No, I'm not deprecated. I'm going to save a log function. I'm going to create my command runner and then check, do I have a repo? And I know because I just set those args that I don't have a repo. So it's going to fail here. All right, fine. Restart -- repo equals. All right, and what was line this? 354. Oh, I don't know where I started. Okay. Now I have a repo, and I can start evaluating all my other flags. Okay, this is all really simple stuff so far. I want to set a break at this function called sync repo. And it's smart enough, I just gave it this simple name. It said, there's only one of those in this file, so let me find it. And that's probably the one you wanted. If there was more than one, it would have given me an option. Actually, if I say like break at main, it'll say, oh, well, that's ambiguous. Which main did you want? So I set a breakpoint, and I will just continue there. And in fact, there I am at the top of my sync repo function, which I can then single step into and get to the really fun part, right? Now, I want to see what's going on with, I want to see what's going on with my credentials. So let me single step into that. And what I'm finding is that it's actually defined as an inline function somewhere else. So I'm just going to keep hitting next. And it's going to check if I have any credentials to load. No. Am I checking for a URL? No. All right, that was not the thing that I wanted. Single step out. Okay, this looks more interesting. I'm going to step into this function. Now I'm here. I don't want to lose track of this, so I'm just going to set a breakpoint right here. In case I restart for some reason, I can just get right back to here. In fact, let's list my breakpoints. I don't need 2 or 5 anymore. Whoops, clear 2. Somebody should go and send a pull request to Delve to make multiple breakpoints work on clear. All right, so now if I look at my breakpoints, I've got breakpoint 6. Cool. List my code here. I have all the syntax coloring is all configuration that you can give to Delve. I use the little ... dots to represent tabs so that I can see visually how many tabs are there. That's a me thing. You can configure it however you like. So I can step in. Okay, I don't know what this is going to be. So let's print get root. Oh, okay, that's the variable I gave it earlier. Okay, that's fine. Let's try print git. It's going to dump me in git-ish or go-ish syntax, this type that I was looking at. Okay, that's interesting. List the code. Now I can single step into library functions too. When I said delve debug, it actually went and recompiled all the bits of the library if it needed to with debugging symbols turned on. So I can actually single step into I should explain what I just saw. Anyway, I'm debugging now into Go's standard library, and I can keep going into it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to step out. I'll explain this the next time I hit this. So which case am I going to hit? Let's check. Let's go into sanity checking. And I want to find something interesting. fun one to look at. All right, well, apparently I finished the init repo. All right, we'll single step into this. So single step on a regular instruction does nothing, actually. But why did it not single step me into the sync repo? Well, it's doing something. I don't know. Interesting. Oh, it failed. Why did it fail? There's my error. Too many failures. Context deadline exceeded. Ah, darn. Of course. So what I really need to do, it supports like shell control R stuff too. So -- sync timeout equals 2 hours. Okay, when we got back to here, I want to see, I realized this was the wrong breakpoint to set now. I screwed up and I lost my previous breakpoint. So I want to go up. Up goes up the stack, down goes down the stack. So up the stack gets me to here, and that's in the sync repo function. I actually want to go up one more, and I want to set my breakpoint here. And I just want to restart. No arguments means use the previous arguments, and continue. There we go. Okay, so I got back to where I am. Or where I wanted to be, and I can start single stepping through. So let me pause here. I've just sort of been freewheeling. What do you want to see? What's interesting? What problem did you struggle with in Kubernetes that you ended up having to throw a panic in somewhere? Can I attach to a process? Yes, I can. If my process is built with debugging symbols, I'll get symbols and stuff. If it's not, then it won't. But I can, so let me do that. Exit. I will say, so I have my repo here set up. Kubernetes has the same parameters. Okay, and then I can say, run this. Oh man, I lost all my arguments. Sorry? Yes, thank you. This angle is weird. Okay, so that's running. And it's just going to go every 10 seconds. It's going to try again. Oh, before I do that, let's look at my log. It says started up, PID equals. And I can say delve attach, I think is the command. Okay, so I can say where am I? Oh, well, I'm deep in Go space somewhere, right? Let's see if I can just keep going up the stack to something useful. Well, that's not great. Let's look at the Go routines that are currently running. Well, I only have one. Down. I only have one. Okay, so we'll set a break at sync repo. Continue. Oh, look, it worked. Oh, shoot. I don't have source files because when I built it in a container where the source was at /source/go. Let me see if I can replace, what was the name of that command? Well, let's look. That's not what I wanted. I have question mark alias to help, so here's my help. And I happen to know this is under config. And it is substitute path, that's the name. All right, so config substitute path /source, and I pointed at my source tree. Now I have my source attached to this running process. If you look in the other tab, it has now stopped. It's not refreshing. If I say continue, it'll wait until it pops once. Oh, of course it's going to stop. It has stopped here as it hit a timer, and I'm back here. So you can attach to a running process. You can load source files from somewhere else. If the source doesn't match the binary, then you're going to get all sorts of weird, unpredictable stuff because the binary is built with line numbers encoded in the dwarf settings. But you know, you're smart enough. So there's, you know, simple attachment. What else? Sergey. Add additional breakpoints? Conditional breakpoints. Excellent. Okay, let's find a place where I can use a conditional breakpoint. Okay, I'm going to do a break here, and I'm going to say condition 2 remote hash not equal to, or sorry, remote hash equals, and I'm going to breakpoints, and I'm going to clear. I'm so confident I'm going to clear one, and I'm going to restart. Oh, I can't restart. Continue. Well, it's not going to trigger now because I didn't. I attached to a running process. I can't restart it. Let me do this. Quit, and I'll just come back and rerun it. Okay, and I set a breakpoint at sync repo. I could have just said continue to sync repo. Sorry, bad habit. Clear one. Clear one. So I have no more breakpoint. Next. Okay. Break at 1601. Restart. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I picked the wrong spot to do a condition. Maybe that doesn't hit. All right, that was a bad one. Anyway, you can see the syntax for conditional breakpoints. They do work. They have all the Go expressions that you can specify there. I think it's all the simple Booleans. I don't think you can do like bitwise operators and stuff. Let's find a better one. Let's try this one, break. G4. And restart. Actually, boom. Here we hit. So now I can say print current hash. Oops. So there's a case where I hit a conditional breakpoint. You guys want to do it in chorus? Can you modify variables? Yes, I can. I think it's set. Oh, strings are not simple primitives in Go. I can say so you can call functions in here. There's some limitations to what it can do, but basically it can run your own stuff in here. I think you can call like print functions and stuff like that if you really need to. Sorry? So this program doesn't have a lot of Go routines, so but the answer is yes. Use the gr command and you can switch between Go routines and see what's happening there. In fact, where is it? There, Go routine alias gr, Go routines. Oh, sorry, grs. It's going to list me all my Go routines, so I can say gr. Well, they're all in Go space, but I can say Go routine 82, and it's somewhere else, right? And when I stop my program, all the Go routines stop. Other questions? I got 5 minutes left. Who's gonna give me something fun? Can I attach to a short-lived process? Only if you can catch it. The truth is it needs to be able to catch the process, send a ptrace signal to the OS so that it can actually stop it. So as long as you can deliver that signal, yes. I think you can like stop a program, like sig stop it, and then attach to it, and then sig cont it, and then it'll continue. Or you can just delve run it. Delve run is the easier way, or delve debug is the easiest way to go. Yes. So I have never bothered to set up remote work. There is a way to do it. I have not set that up. I thought about setting up for this week and I just ran out of time. So I would usually just like log into my control plane node, run delve on there, and it would stop my API server in its place and see there. So let me do another example here, just for fun. I had to do this one recently. App. It's going to take a minute while it rebuilds with debugging symbols. But I was staring at flags and configs in Kubernetes. Anybody ever had to wrestle with who wins if you specify a flag and a config file, right? And I was like, well, how does this possibly work? And the only way I could figure it out was by single stepping through the code to be like, oh, that's where it goes. Like, that's the interface that I was missing that I couldn't find. Oh, what is it, app? Oh, it's not app, it's just command key proxy, sorry. Single step, oh, that's Cobra, so step out, and then, so, where did I go? Maybe it was in the new proxy command, let me restart. I forget where all this happens now. I've paged it out since last week. But you can see here where we're walking through this single stepping. That was something I wanted to show here. Sometimes when you see like a structure initialization or inline function, the current instruction pointer will sort of jump around, and that's because Go internally has actually got multiple instructions that are doing the same source line. And it makes sense when you look at it from the, like, what is the assembled code doing? There's an example that just went back and forth. It's initializing struct arguments. Okay, other questions? Init? Ooh, good one. Let me think. Can I delve into a process in a container? Is just a process. So yes, yes you can. I can't hear you. Okay. About debugging into containers? Okay. Oh, through proxy. Oh, that's really fancy. That's a super fancy trick that I have not yet had to do, but cool. So here, if I can fully specify the name of the init, then I can restart and continue, and it's, I don't know where that is. Oh. Okay, well I have failed the test of stopping at an init function, but now I'm going to try to learn how to do that, because there must be a way to do it, I just don't know how. No, Go test or just Go programs. So I don't have one queued up here, but you'll start at test main.main, and then you'll single step through there, but it's otherwise, it'll do this for, if you just say delve, I think there's delve test actually, which will do a test. Okay, I have no idea what happens if you try to do a Seago. Really, it's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets confused. But at the bottom, it still has assembly, so it's still going to be able to show you assembly. I don't know if it'll be able to show you C code. Other questions? Things people struggle with? Who's going to go home and use this once? Once, get frustrated with it and give up. The next time you're sitting there going, I don't understand how I got to this point, this is what's really useful, right? And there's ways that you can pre-script stuff, so you can load it. I forget the syntax, but there's a command line syntax you can give it to preload a bunch of instructions, and it will execute those instructions before it gives you an interactive prompt. Likewise, you can load the arguments from the command line. So I could say delve run command dash dash and then my own arguments, and it'll feed those into the run command. Question? I have not. I was looking at recorded sessions as I was getting ready for this. I was like, ooh, recorded sessions. I wonder what that is. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I use this just to get things. I'm a journeyman debugger. That's it. But yeah, there's this idea of recorded sessions, which looked really interesting. Other questions? Was this useful? It exists. Use it. If it saves you 10 minutes, then I have completed my mission. Cool. Thanks, everyone.